Yes, actually, I have felt it because after 4 months, we're back with new episodes of Home Media Reviews. Hi, everybody. Welcome back to the show. And I say that because I missed this show. Funny enough, I really enjoyed working on the first season, and production on season 2 has gone full throttle. That'll be airing sometime next year. But I decided, hey, I really want to come back and do more episodes of the show before the year's over, and I thought this was the perfect way to do it. If you saw that update video I posted back at the beginning of November, we're going to be talking Star Wars for the next 4 weeks. But we're not talking everybody's favorite Star Wars. No, we've already covered the original trilogy back in season 1 of this show. We're talking about Disney Star Wars. That's not going to be controversial at all. But we're going to start with the first Disney released and produced Star Wars film, The Force Awakens, which I've heard not a lot of mixed reactions to. I've heard a lot of people really like this one, so hopefully this one doesn't cause any controversy. When we get to The Last Jedi, though, yikes. So let's go ahead and transition into the history section of Star Wars Episode 7, The Force Awakens. So Star Wars The Force Awakens first hit theaters on December 18th, 2015. And man, looking back on that, the hype was real for Force Awakens. I was alive back then, obviously. I was 16 when this came out in theaters. And oh boy, was I excited. I was there opening night with my family. We made it a tradition to see the most recent Star Wars film every year at Christmas time. And it was just... there was just a energy in the theater while we were watching this movie that I'll never forget to this very day. Every fan that was there was quiet and respectful throughout the entire film, and we all pretty much loved it. I know I usually wait till the ending wrap up to talk about this kind of stuff, but I just gotta say this right now. The Force Awakens was probably one of the best theater experiences I've ever had. So, a couple months later, we got our Blu-ray/DVD release in April of 2016, specifically April 5th, and there were a lot of versions of this, so let me go ahead and talk about them now. We got your standard Blu-ray/DVD combo pack, as well as a standard DVD version, no Blu-ray included in that. We got a Walmart exclusive of the Blu-ray with a BB-8 slipcover, and a Star Wars Connections disc, which that was some game, I think, that Lucasfilm was trying to push back then. It came with a little special piece for that game. I don't think anyone plays that anymore, but if you were into that back in 2016, you could have gotten it there. Best Buy, of course, had a steelbook. This artwork's pretty good. It matches the recently released at the time steelbooks, with the whole character of just Kylo Ren on the front and the title off to the side and whatnot. I like it. It's cool. Don't own it myself, but it's really nice art. We had a Target exclusive that had weird cardboard packaging. This Target exclusive is not like the more modern ones where they're a little bit more fat and come with a gallery book. No, this one is short, skinny, and really flimsy cardboard packaging there. We're actually going to take a look at that during the close-up. I own that version. However, that is not the only reason you would buy the Target version. You would get it because it had digital exclusive bonus content. You got 2 extra featurettes that you could only get through online retailers if you bought it through Target. There was also a Disney Store exclusive. If you pre-ordered The Force Awakens through that store, you could have got a lithograph set. That's kind of cool, I guess. I don't know why you would ever want lithographs. Side note, I remember when Force Awakens first came out on Blu-ray as well, because I was actually in Arizona when this released. 2016 was the year I took my first, and so far only, mission trip to Dilcon, Arizona. I believe I made a vlog on that, although it really wasn't a vlog, it was more of an interactive slideshow. But I was in Arizona when this came out, so I actually asked my parents to buy this for me, and when I got back, they got me the Target exclusive version. Didn't ask for it, but they got me that, so that was really nice of them. Thank you, Mom and Dad. But come on, a standard Blu-ray and a standard DVD, that's just not enough. back in 2016, 3D was still pretty popular on the home viewing market. Not so much nowadays because it's not very good. I don't care much for home 3D. I don't care much for 3D in general. I don't see a lot of films in 3D. But Lucasfilm thought they should capitalize on the 3D market, so on November 15th, 2016, we got the 3D Blu-ray collector's version. Not really a collector's version. Pick this up anywhere. I hate when they do that. And surprisingly enough, there was a retailer-exclusive version of this release. If you bought this at Walmart, you could have got a little tiny lithograph. Kind of a stupid exclusive, in my opinion. Then, a few weeks later, we got a holiday slipcover reissue of the Blu-ray / DVD combo pack, as well as the standard disc DVD version, which that was actually an upgrade to the first version of the DVD, since the first version of that didn't have a slipcover, so you got a cool holiday slipcover this time around. December 6th was when that was released, 2016. Then, I couldn't find an exact date for this. This next version was released sometime in December of 2017. This was another holiday slipcover reissued version. There was both a Blu-ray and a DVD version available. I only have a photo of the Blu-ray, couldn't find a photo of the DVD. However, this one's also kind of cool because this included a little bonus DVD packaged into the plastic with Forces of Destiny content on it. Now, Forces of Destiny, I'm not too familiar with, actually. I'm not too sure what it is. It's a series of shorts, I believe. I've never seen them, but apparently people say they're good, so maybe I should check them out. And up to that point, they had never been released physically. They had only been aired on television. Then The Force Awakens went about a year without getting reissued. However, in September of 2019, this year, we got a Blu-ray and a DVD reissue alongside episodes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8, Solo, and Rogue One. Every single Lucasfilm-produced Star Wars movie got a reissue in September of 2019 with, honestly, some really cool poster art. Now, the reason I mention episodes 1 through 6 and say that it's significant is because this is the first time that episodes 1 through 6 have been available physically with a digital copy included. Force Awakens, Rogue One, Last Jedi, Solo, they've all had digital copies because Disney owned both the physical and the digital distribution rights to them. However, when Disney bought Fox, they then got the physical distribution rights to episodes 1 through 6. Up until then, they only had the digital rights. So a pretty significant reissue for 1 through 6. For Force Awakens, though, not really all that important. Especially considering this includes the first iteration Blu-ray that doesn't have the audio commentary. I think I forgot to mention this earlier, but if you bought the 3D version of Force Awakens, you got a regular Blu-ray included, and that Blu-ray has a audio commentary by director J.J. Abrams. The original Blu-ray doesn't have an audio commentary. So that wraps up the history section for Force Awakens. A lot of different versions of this out there. A lot of ways you could pick this up if you wanted to. But we'll save that for the recommends. Let's go ahead and transition to the close-up section of The Force Awakens. Okay, everybody, here's your close-up look at Star Wars The Force Awakens. Now, you'll find in this little mini-season of HMR we're doing here on the channel, leading up to The Rise of Skywalker, you'll find that I own at least one exclusive version of each of the new Disney-era Star Wars films. You'll find I own at least one exclusive version, but with Force Awakens, I actually own two exclusive versions. I don't own the standard version of Force Awakens. The first one we're going to take a look at here is my original Blu-ray copy of The Force Awakens. This is the Target exclusive version in this weird cardboard packaging thing here. So let's go ahead and take a look at it here. Up at the top you see we've got Blu-ray plus DVD, the Blu-ray disc logo, plus digital HD, And it forms this really cool poster of Rey, BB-8, Kylo Ren, Finn, Han, and Leia with Star Wars The Force Awakens in the front there. I really like how this side, the symmetry of the lightsabers, lines up. It is very impressive. This side, the Blu-ray disc logo, Star Wars The Force Awakens, Lucasfilm and product number. You'll notice this is not the size of a standard Blu-ray case. It's this weird cardboard material. On the back, Blu-ray, DVD, digital HD, all that good stuff. A list of the bonus features. There's your barcode, BB-8. Han giving Rey the blaster she uses later on in the film. A little bit talking about Disney Movies Anywhere before they became just Movies Anywhere. And then some more screenshots of characters down at the bottom with another little advert here talking about digital HD, works with iTunes, all that good stuff, legalese, product information down there at the bottom. Now you open this up like this. Zoom out a little bit more so we can get a better picture there. You've got a little bit of symmetry between your heroes and your villains. Open it up again. What else do we have here? Character posters. We got Leia, Han, Rey, and Finn. All heroes this time. You may be wondering, hey, wait a minute, where are the discs? They're inside of the cardboard. Right here. There's your film disc. Right there with the Millennium Falcon and the TIE Fighters. I'm not a fan of how they put these discs in here. They make them really hard to get out of the package. It makes it feel like I'm breaking this every time I try to get them out. There's your bonus disc. An image from the table read. And here is your DVD disc with Rey and BB-8 on Jakku. Now the main reason to get the Target exclusive version of The Force Awakens back in the day was not because of its packaging. No. Because its packaging, it's really dumb. I don't really like this very much. I like the artwork on it, but the flimsy cardboard, I'm not really a fan of that. But the main reason to get the Target exclusive version way back when was to get the 2 exclusive digital featurettes that you could only unlock with your digital copy code from Target. So let's go ahead and move right along to our next copy of Star Wars The Force Awakens. Ha! You thought we were going to the menu tour there, didn't you? I fooled you. Nah, I've got another copy to look at. And this one is not a retailer exclusive, however, it's a cooler version. You may recall in the history section I mentioned that there was a 3D collector's set that was released in November of 2016. Force Awakens came out in April of 2016 on physical media. Well, I've got that collector's version here today. But you'll find it's not really a collector's version. It's the standard version. They pulled this crap with Thomas and Friends. I don't know why they're doing it here. But it's a cooler package. Collector's edition, even though that's technically a lie. Got this really cool lenticular cover here with Star Wars The Force Awakens 3D with Rey holding up the lightsaber. The image, of course, looks 3D. The side, Star Wars The Force Awakens 3D. Back has nothing on it. Bought this used so I don't have the slip that went over the back. There's the other side. This is a slipcase type thing. It's very hard. It's not plastic or cardboard. It's a different material. I'm not really sure what you would call this, but it is tougher than that cheap cardboard from the Target version. Here's what it looks like on the inside. The fight on Starkiller Base, almost forgot its name there for a minute, between Rey and Kylo Ren. The back, what you guys saw, Rey and Finn running away from the explosions on Jakku. Open this up a little further. There's Han and Chewbacca on the Falcon. And open this up again. Oof, don't drop that there. There's a little glimpse of the artwork behind your discs. And if you'll notice, your discs are different. Let's take a look at each one individually here. Here's your film disc. You can see it's not the same artwork as in the Target version. This is different because it has a audio commentary on it. That was the big selling point of this 3D version of this, was the fact that the film disc now includes an audio commentary. On the original film disc, there's no audio commentary. Here's your 3D disc. And then your bonus features disc. Again, artwork has been changed. However, the only one that the artwork has not been changed on is the DVD. There were no changes made to this. And your artwork on the inside is Han and Rey blasting off into hyperspace. Beautiful image created there. So now that the two versions are side by side, you can see that the flimsy Target exclusive is smaller and more compact than the big and large 3D version of The Force Awakens. So now, ladies and gentlemen, let's go ahead and transition into our menu tour of The Force Awakens. There will not be a menu tour of the 3D version of The Force Awakens because I don't have a 3D player. Sorry. Okay, everybody, here is our menu tour. Starting off for Force Awakens, we have the DVD, and this is taken from the Target exclusive version of the movie. However, this exact same disc you will find in the 3D collector's version as well, so there's only going to be one DVD menu tour here because nothing is changed. So here we go. We have play, scene selection, and setup. No bonus features whatsoever on this disc. Scene selection, we've got the attack on Starkiller Base in the background, and over 50 scenes, and each one of them, I assume, has a little name there, so that's cool, I guess. And then for setup, you have languages and subtitles, also an option to return to the film. For languages, English 5.1 Dolby Digital Surround Sound, English 2.0 Descriptive Audio, French 5.1, and Spanish 5.1. And for subtitles, we have none, of course. English for the hearing impaired, French, and Spanish. So pretty standard for this DVD here. Okay, so here we are for our Blu-ray menu, and you might be thinking, hang on a minute, Lego Lover, that's the same menu. Yeah, the discs kind of use the same menu style. This inside of the crashed Star Destroyer here, and with scenes from the film playing on what looks like a giant movie screen in the background, actually, now that I think about it. But yes, this is the Blu-ray menu because of the more crisper lines and brighter colors. I just love Blu-ray, man. DVD just looks like ass compared to this. Play, scene selection, and setup, we have our same options as on the DVD. However, we don't have another page to go to because it's Blu-ray and it's better. We have pretty much the same scenes as on the DVD, even though we didn't really look through all of them. And those are the end credits. Setup. Languages. We have a 7.1 master audio mix instead of a 5.1 mix, but the same French and Spanish 5.1 audio mixes and the same English 2.0 descriptive audio mix. Subtitles, same subtitles as on the DVD. Okay, here we are for our bonus features, and if you'll notice, the scenes in the background have changed. They're all bonus feature footage, which I think is very cool. They actually went through some effort to change this up a little bit. We have the same menu style, though, just bonus features and subtitles. Subtitles, I assume, are going to be the same. Oh no, look, Portuguese! We can watch the bonus features with Portuguese subtitles. How about that? That's kind of weird. But here are our bonus features. Secrets of the Force Awakens, A Cinematic Journey, which is a brilliant documentary about the making of The Force Awakens. It's wonderful. I highly recommend you watch it at some point. The Story Awakens, the table read. That one's not as good as Secrets of the Force Awakens. I wish the table read segment would have been a little longer. Crafting Creatures, Building BB-8, Blueprint of a Battle, the Snow Fight. Gosh, I love the snow fight at the end of this. It's so beautiful. ILM, the Visual Magic of the Force. John Williams, the Seventh Symphony. Symphony, not sympathy. My sympathies to John Williams, but the Seventh Symphony. Deleted scenes, Force for Change, and Info. Info is basically just, hey, the commentary on this, even though there's no commentary, but all of the opinions expressed on this Blu-ray are not the opinions of Lucasfilm. I don't know why I did a George Lucas impression there for a minute. George Lucas wasn't involved with this. So because I'm a completionist, we're going to look at the menu for the 3D collector's version Blu-ray because those contents have been changed up slightly. That has a commentary on it. I don't know if I mentioned that in the close-up or not, but it has a commentary. This one does not, so let's go ahead and take a look at that here before we wrap everything up. Okay, sorry, I kind of lied to you. We're actually taking a look at the bonus features disc from the 3D collector's version of the Force Awakens. I thought I was saying Force Unleashed there for a second, but no, The Force Awakens is the correct title. And the reason I'm doing this is because my Xbox was being weird and not loading the film disc. I'm going to try it again after I completely reset the damn thing to make it work after I get done with this. But I popped in the bonus features disc to see if that worked. Of course it works. It was manufactured in America. There's no reason why it should work. My Xbox is just stupid. But I was looking through it, and you get new bonus features on the Force Awakens 3D Collector's version. If you recall, these are your old bonus features. You should recall we just saw them earlier on in this HMR, literally like 10 seconds ago. But here are your new ones. We have Foley, a Sonic Tail, Sounds of the Resistance, Dressing the Galaxy. And then these two are interesting because these were your digital exclusive bonus features you could have got through Target. We have the Scavenger and the Stormtrooper, a conversation with Daisy Ridley and John Boyega, and Inside the Armory, excuse me. So, okay, and here we are for the film disc from the 3D version of Force Awakens. Now, the 3D disc, again, we don't have a menu to it for that because it will not play in this player. So the only thing that's changed is this. It's the audio commentary. You can play the movie with audio commentary by J.J. Abrams, and you can set that to either on or off. And then you also have a little info thing over there that basically says, J.J.'s opinions don't line up with Lucasfilms. Again, the George Lucas impression there. I don't know why I did that. But yeah, I went through the stress of having to reset my Xbox twice to show you that little thing there. That's it. The things I do for these videos. Anyway, let's go ahead and transition back and answer the 5 main questions, as always. Alright, so we're back from the close-up. Now it's time to answer the 5 main questions, as always. Number 1, where can you pick this product up? Well, since Force Awakens just got reissued, you can find this in stores. Not the versions from back in 2016, but the most recent version, you can find it in a store. Number 2, is this product still being printed nowadays? Yes, it is, because of the most recent reissue. You can answer yes to this. This feels so different. Number 3, should you pick this product up? I'll spoil it now. Yeah, I recommend Force Awakens. I find this movie massively entertaining. I think it was a really good sequel to episodes 4 through 6. I really love the world that The Force Awakens sets up. It really felt like J.J. was trying to... J.J. Abrams, the director of the film, for those of you who don't know. It really felt like he was trying to go back and capture what episodes 4 through 6 did with Force Awakens and re-establish that mindset. He didn't want to do prequels again. You've seen the prequels. They're nothing like the original trilogy, at least in terms of tone and feel. Force Awakens, though, feels like, yeah, it probably could have been part of episodes 4 through 6 back in the day, just with better special effects. Speaking of special effects, they look really good here. I mean, a lot of it's practical. Unlike the prequels, they actually made Stormtrooper armor for this film. If you don't know, back in episodes 1 through 3, they didn't make any like physical sets of clone armor. It was all just CGI, and it looks CGI. It does not look good. Here, though, they actually made Stormtrooper armor, and it looks really good. I love the design of the First Order Stormtrooper. It looks sleek, it looks modern, and personally, I kind of like it more than the Imperial Stormtrooper. I know. I like something more than the original trilogy. Oh no, the fanboys are gonna shoot me! But I really like the First Order Stormtrooper. I can't really say much else about the First Order or anything because we don't really get a sense of who and what they are in this movie. And that's kind of one of the negatives I have with it. The First Order just seems like the diet version of the Empire. Like, they're evil. Don't get me wrong there. They work as villains, but they just don't really seem like a force to be reckoned with. And they just kind of seem like they want to do what the Empire did, except do it better, but it doesn't come off that way. I don't know. I have issues with the First Order in this film and Last Jedi. They are just very ill-defined villains. While the Empire has been fleshed out over 3 films. Even more fleshed out throughout television series like Rebels and whatnot, but in episodes 4 through 6, they were pretty much fleshed out. You knew what the Empire stood for. First Order? A little bit more muddy. Everyone seems to hate General Hux in these films as well. Domhnall Gleeson's character, I kind of like Hux. I, however, do not care for Captain Phasma. Phasma is useless in this film. She is the Boba Fett of the new sequel trilogy. You know, everyone saw Phasma in the trailer, like, oh, look at Phasma, her armor's reflective, it's gonna be really good, she's gonna have a big role, and what happens here? She gets thrown into a trash compactor. Now, she survives, if you read Phasma's comic, but, yeah, she's useless in this film. She does nothing of importance, even more so in The Last Jedi, but here, she's useless. As I said, she's the Boba Fett of this new trilogy. If you don't know, Boba Fett was in the original trilogy, and he does nothing there either. I know, the fans are all screaming at me, duh, Boba Fett did stuff in the original trilogy time period. Hang on a minute here. You said time period. What did Boba Fett do of importance in the original trilogy? He said a few lines, he took Han Solo to Jabba, and then he died in a Sarlacc pit. What did he do that was memorable or important? Nothing. Same thing with Phasma here. What does she do that's memorable or important? Nothing. Aside from the issues I have with the First Order, I don't have any issues with Kylo Ren. I love Kylo Ren. He's probably the most complex character in this film. I love Adam Driver's performance in this. He can really show that conflicted side of Kylo. Because Kylo is tempted by the light side. This is a new take on a villain. Kylo wants so desperately to embrace the dark side. He wants to be like Darth Vader. But the light is saying, no, man, we want you over here. That's not what you're supposed to do. People have said that Kylo is kind of like a perpetuate child in this film. I can see why, but I like that performance. I like when he has temper tantrums. That's really all I can say about those. Those are temper tantrums that he has, but at least they're masterfully done. And like I said, Adam Driver, fantastic in this. Even better in The Last Jedi. Spoiler alert for that review, but he's even better there. But he's really good here, and I'm super excited to see what he does with Kylo Ren in The Rise of Skywalker here coming up soon. So I like Kylo. Do I like the other new characters? Yeah, they're all pretty good. Poe Dameron, I think I said in my Force Awakens movie review back when the film first came out, I think I said he was my favorite character in this film. Nah, Kylo Ren's my favorite now. Poe's good. He can kind of get a little annoying at times, and he basically just disappears in the middle of the film and then comes back at the end. He's like Captain Marvel in Avengers Endgame. It's, hey, look, it's Deus Ex Poe Dameron. Kind of like, hey, it's Deus Ex Captain Marvel. That's not a dig at Dameron as a character, it's just that's a dig at the script because they didn't really know what to do with him. But Poe, I like Oscar Isaac's performance. He's way better here than he was in X-Men Apocalypse. Rey and Finn, also really good. I like Finn more in this film than I do in The Last Jedi. I feel like he has a better character in Force Awakens here. And Rey, I liked her more in The Last Jedi, actually, I think. I think she has a better arc there. But here, Daisy Ridley, for her first ever live-action film, she does pretty damn good. Oh, I got a pretty cool story to tell you all before I talk about the best performance by far in this film. And no, it's not Andy Serkis as Snoke. So there were production photos of Kylo Ren, or Adam Driver, without his helmet on. You know, so we saw what he looked like, which pretty much negated the theory of, well, isn't Kylo Ren Luke Skywalker? No, there were photos of him with his helmet off before the film even came out. But I never saw those photos leading up to this film. I never saw any picture or photo of Kylo Ren with his helmet off. I saw what I saw in trailers. I think there's a shot in one of the later trailers where Ren has his helmet off, but you see him from the back so you don't see his face, so it looks like his helmet's on. But I never saw what he looked like. I never even looked up Adam Driver's name to, like, find out what the dude looked like. So in the scene where Kylo is torturing Rey, and Rey goes, "You're just a child that hides behind a mask," or something along those lines, and Ren takes that mask off, I was on the edge of my seat, like, what does he look like? Because that was my first experience ever seeing Kylo Ren or Adam Driver without the helmet on. Pretty surreal, actually. I'm really happy that I still have that memory. So anyway, moving on from that story, the best performance in The Force Awakens by far is Harrison Ford's Han Solo. Obviously, the reason he came back was because Disney wrote him a big fat check and said, you can die in this one. But man, does he go out on a high note. His performance in this is so good. I love old Han Solo. And man, that scene when he is confronting his son, spoiler alert, Kylo Ren is Han Solo and Princess Leia's son. When he's on that bridge, man, I knew instantly when he yelled, Ben, that he was dead. I knew that in the theater. I was like, he's dead. But I was like, please don't tell me he's dead. Don't tell me you're killing my favorite Star Wars character right in front of me. Don't tell me that. But in the back of my head, I was thinking, he's dead. He's dead. It makes logical sense that he's dead. And he's dead. Just that entire scene was masterfully shot, masterfully edited, masterfully acted. It is a wonderful scene. Not my favorite scene in the film, though. My favorite scene in the film is the lightsaber fight in the forest on Starkiller Base when it's exploding. That lightsaber fight, oh, it's so good. Except for Kylo Ren's line about, you need a teacher! Kind of like, maybe you could have pulled that one back a little bit there, JJ, but everything else about that fight, wonderful. So all in all, I don't really have any other issues with The Force Awakens other than the fact that the First Order is ill-defined, and the whole Starkiller Base thing, it's a rehash, but I can go with it. And yes, the film does feel very similar to A New Hope, rehashing very similar, if not blatant, plot points from A New Hope. I can give it those mulligans, okay? This had to re-establish Star Wars for a new generation, a new audience, as well as show older fans that Disney could be trusted with this franchise. And I think The Force Awakens does a good job at that. I just realized I never talked about BB-8. BB-8's awesome. I love that little dude. So while this does feel very similar to A New Hope, while the First Order are not as good of villains as the Empire, I still really enjoy Force Awakens. I have a blast every single time I watch it. The effects are great. Most of the performances are amazing. The ending fights is spectacular. Yeah, a huge recommend to Force Awakens, actually. This is, in my opinion, on par with The Return of the Jedi, which I think still is the worst of the Star Wars original trilogy. Not saying that one's bad by any means. None of those films, 4 through 6, are bad. It's just Return of the Jedi is the weakest. But that doesn't mean it's not good. And that doesn't mean The Force Awakens isn't good. I love Force Awakens just as much as I love episodes 4 through 6. Number 4, where should you pick this product up? I would say your best option would be either Best Buy or Target. Walmart seems to not want to carry new physical releases anymore. It's been getting increasingly harder to find new physical stuff at Walmart if you want it right then and there. If you wait a couple weeks, then it'll show up eventually. But if you want your product right then and there on the day it says it's supposed to come out, don't go to Walmart. Look for this at either Best Buy or Target. And number 5, what price should you pay? I'm not going to give you prices for all of the sets, but I'll say for the 3D version, that one seems to be the most common on the secondhand market. So 15 to 20 for that, I'd say, would be reasonable. For the new version, the reissued version, I'd say store price more than likely, because you're not going to find a lot of those on the secondary market. For the original Blu-ray, though, I have seen that Blu-ray at so many secondhand stores. 5 to 10 for that. That thing is not rare at all. But it's a good and cheap way to pick up the film if you want to own it. And hey, if you want any of those retailer exclusives, look on places like eBay. I have seen more Target exclusives and more steelbooks show up on eBay in the last year. It's insane. Also, check local secondhand stores like Half Price Books. I've seen several steelbooks of The Force Awakens show up at Half Price Books. So that is the HMR on The Force Awakens. Really entertaining film, and I still love it to this day. It's a movie that showed that, yeah, Star Wars can be great again. And it's one of my favorite theater memories I can think of in my entire life, and I enjoy rewatching it every now and then. So next up, we're going in chronological order here, folks. So after Force Awakens hit the scene, we had to wait a year before we found out what happened next in the next chapter in The Last Jedi. But in the middle, we got our first Star Wars spin-off film, Rogue One, A Star Wars Story, is coming up next week. I hope you all are excited for that one. Thank you guys so much for watching, and as always, good night, everybody.